Hello everyone! Tomoko です。And?
Cruise です。
So, under the circumstance, we can make a video like this.
Yeah, today we have to do our social distancing, so Tomoko and I are video chatting for today's special video.
Yes. 今日はビデオチャットで、ビデオを作ります。I was surprised. 驚きました。I saw your video. クルーズのビデオを見たの。そしたら
Yeah, we just made our announcement video, our sad, half exciting announcement video that we'll be leaving Japan. Me and my wife, we've lived here for over 5 years now.
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
もう5年間も住んでたんだよね。私はちょっとクルーズに今日は聞きたいと思います。I want to ask you about going to Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah.
ね、leaving Japan. But now, in this situation, you can't go, of course.
Right, yeah. So this has kind of been in the works for a couple months now. We officially made the decision in January, and I gave notice to my job in January. So in Japan, it's really important. You have to give your quitting notice really far in advance, like at least a month or two in advance is usually pretty good. So we gave notice in January, and we were planning to leave around April, so that way it would be easier for them to find a new replacement for me at the company. And so the plan was to leave in April, but it's April now, and we're sort of stuck in Japan now.
そう、日本はね、やっぱり辞めるときは先に言わないと、
Yeah.
ね、いけないんだけど、もう決めてたんだね。
Yeah.
You already decided.
In America, it's usually 2 weeks notice.
2 weeks notice. I saw the movie about that.
Is there a movie?
I think so. Is it okay?
Yeah. Most positions, it's usually okay. Unless you're in a very unique position, then maybe more time is better. But legally, what is it? 法律的に 2 weeks is okay.
So in Japan, you have 3 months before.
Yeah.
3 months before or 2 months or.
Yeah, it depends on the contract, but my contract was luckily 1 month, but I gave 2 months notice.
2 months notice ね。でもどうして決めたかね。Why did you decide?
Yeah.
You like Japan, I know. You like living in Japan. でしょ
if we didn't like Japan, we wouldn't have lived here for 5 years. So it's kind of a mix of a couple different factors. The most important, biggest reason was family, of course. So unfortunately, Tuan-chan had some family members pass away these last year. So that's one big reason, so we can be closer to her family. And thinking more long-term, what we want to do with our lives, it's a little bit difficult for us to stay in Japan as two foreigners because we always need to have a work visa. We always need to have some sort of sponsor company. And we'd like to eventually sort of build something of our own. And it's really hard to build your own business in Japan unless you have a Japanese partner or you're married to a Japanese person. But as two foreigners, it's really difficult to do that path. And it just seemed like Vietnam was the most logical step. She's Vietnamese, so we don't have to worry about a visa. There's a lot of opportunity there. It's a nice and fast-growing country. And yeah, we really want to grow our own business one day, so.
So you are two foreigners だから、you're two foreigners. So, そういうことね。でも日本語が上手になったでしょYou learn Japanese a lot then ね。
Yeah. We speak Japanese every day. I still speak more Japanese than English every day.
だよね。You work at a Japanese company.
Yeah.
だよね。You worked. Don't forget Japanese.
Oh, no. We communicate in Japanese every day. So even when we move to Vietnam, we'll still be using Japanese every day.
そうだね。ツォンちゃんも She can speak
Yeah.
Japanese too. So, but in Vietnam, you'll have to learn Vietnamese.
Yeah. I'll be studying Vietnamese when we go there, but it'll take at least a year or so before I'm even at like an elementary conversational level. So we still plan to speak and communicate in Japanese. But eventually, if I get really good at Vietnamese or she gets really good at English, we may change our communication style. But for now, we plan to continue using Japanese.
But how about your job, your work
Yeah.
in Vietnam?
Ah. So
You thinking about that?
yeah. So right now, the end goal or the big goal is we eventually want to build our own company. So we're thinking about different companies that we could build. One idea is we want to build a cycling tourism company, so we can help promote cycling in Vietnam. So foreigners come to Vietnam, they need a guide, someone who can show them the local culture, introduce them to some cool places, and show them around. So with my wife speaking Vietnamese and me having a lot of cycling experience, that's one service we want to work on growing. So our YouTube channel, we focus on cycling videos, so it's an easy way to help find new customers, hopefully. So the first goal is we want to continue working on the YouTube channel, making more cycling videos and showing the cycling culture in Vietnam. So step one, we're going to be focusing on YouTube. We obviously don't make enough money from YouTube right now to support ourselves, but the good thing in Vietnam, the living costs are really cheap, so we can support ourselves in Vietnam for half the cost compared to living in Japan. So
Half.
yeah.
そう、I heard that ベトナムは安いって聞くけど、でもハーフぐらい。
Maybe even cheaper in some for some
本
things.
当。ベトナムもみんなサイクリングというか自転車乗る？やっぱり。
Recently, they start cycling. There's a beginning of a cycling trend in Vietnam. In the past, they didn't really have that much. They didn't have that much income. They didn't have that much spare income. But now the standard of living in Vietnam is starting to get a little bit higher. They have some more time for leisure activities. So cycling is starting to get popular in Vietnam, which is pretty exciting.
Really, and Thuong-chan's family lives there.
Yes.
Relatives?
Yes, she's really excited to be able to see her family more often. And that was another tough thing with living in Japan for both of us. For example, if there's ever like a big event back home for like a wedding, or her brother just had his first kid, we can't easily go back to visit them for those events. So, and we have to choose between which place we go. So do we go visit in Japan, or do we go visit in Vietnam? Do we go visit in America? And it's really expensive every time we have to go back. And then working for a Japanese company, it's really difficult to take time off work.
Right.
I don't want to. I don't think this is just me, but I think this is a general trend for most Japanese companies, is they sort of guilt you for taking your holiday leave. So taking your holiday leave in Japan is a very bad thing. Like, people will shame you for that. And I really, really dislike that work culture here, unfortunately.
I see. At least, no, at the most, for a week or for 10 days is the most.
Yeah.
もう私たちは慣れてるんだけどね。We got used to.
Yeah. So I think for a Japanese person, it's normal because maybe that's the environment you grew up in. So you're not used to anything else, or don't have the desire for anything else. But as a foreigner, we're used to that as the standard. And so being used to that and then coming into an environment where it's different, we feel like something has been like taken away. So it's definitely a lot harder for us to adapt to.
わかった。そっか。もう最初はね、at first もうI'll miss you too だけど、for you too あなたたちのためにはいいことね。It's good.
Yeah.
To go to Vietnam.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. Yeah.
ね、good opportunity. でも、I know you like Japan でしょ？
Yeah.
チョンちゃんもね。
Yeah, for sure.
そうだから、after when you go to the in Vietnam, what will you miss Japan? 何のことが、どんなことが恋しくなるかな？
We still plan to stay connected to Japan as much as we can. For example, I'll answer your question in a second. But with the cycling tourism company, we do plan to cater to both non-Japanese, or like different international audiences who speak English, but also people who speak Japanese. So we're hoping to have some Japanese tourists, some Japanese cyclists maybe come over to our business as well. So we do plan to still continue using Japanese, and even maybe coming back to Japan occasionally if there's ever an opportunity to do like a cycling tourism collaboration with a company in Japan. We do plan to come back as often as we can. So hopefully we can come back at least once a year, but maybe more or less depending on how things go. But as far as things that we'll miss in Japan, it's really hard to say right now because you won't know until you don't know what you have until it's gone. I guess is the expression.
Yeah, right.
I think you can get most Japanese food in Vietnam. And I'm used to, we don't eat out that often. So Tuan-chan cooks every day. And so I'm used to her food. So I don't think we'd miss food that often because most food she can make. Like, for example, we'd miss miso katsu, but as long as we have miso sauce, we can make miso katsu in Vietnam.
Yes.
So
Tuan-chan can make.
yeah. So food, I don't think is so much a problem. Like, maybe sushi, like real Japanese sushi we'd miss, but sushi is popular internationally, so we can get international sushi abroad. And yeah, I don't think we'll miss too much food, honestly. On the other hand, I'm actually looking forward to the food in Vietnam because it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot more fresh, I think, because...
And healthy? Healthy too?
Yeah, it's healthier, and there's a lot of street food. That's one thing I don't like about Japan, is there's not a street food culture. There's only at like matsuri they have like yatai, but outside of that it's very rare. But I really like yatai culture or street food culture.
In Southeast, no, 東南アジアだから East South Asia, there are a lot of street foods.
Yeah.
When
Right.
things now virus will settle down, and I'll treat you sushi.
Okay, definitely. I'll take you up on that.
ね、I'll take you to sushi and conveyor belt 寿司ね。
Yeah, of course.
そう、まだだから you stay here, you stay in Japan.
Yeah, so
For now.
Vietnam is locked down. Japan is locked down.
Yeah.
It's sort of a tricky situation. Like, I don't want to get into much of a political topic, but like, even if we were to have permanent residency in Japan right now, if you leave Japan and try and come back into Japan right now, with permanent residency, you wouldn't be able to come back in. But a Japanese person would be able to come back in.
All right.
Yeah. So we don't have it. It takes 10 years to get a permanent residency. If you're married to a Japanese person, I think you can get it in 3 years. But yeah, we still have 5 more years to go. And we're going to lose 2 years of Nenkin payment. So when you leave Japan, you can take up to 3 years of Nenkin payment. But anything beyond 3 years, up to 10 years, you have to leave to Japan. So we lose 2 years of Nenkin payment when we leave as well.
But you have paid.
Yeah, of course.
For pension.
We pay every year. So if you're a foreigner and you're working in Japan, the ideal time is 3 years. If you work more than 3 years, you lose your pension payment or Nenkin payment every year beyond that. So between 3 years and 10 years is kind of, there's no benefit.
I see. でもね、まあ、good luck in
Thank you.
Vietnam だよね。
Yeah.
で、I'm happy to get to know you too here.
Yeah, no, it's been fun hanging out, making videos together, and hopefully if the situation calms down, we can film some more videos together before we
そう
leave.
だね。そう、絶対じゃあ寿司行こうね。
Yes. Looking forward to it.
ありがとうね、今日は説明をしてくれて。To ask you, what happened?
Well, thanks for having me.
どうしたと思ったから。
We'll have to keep making some video chat videos like this even after we leave.
Yeah. Yes. Nice. ありがとう。じゃあクルーズありがとうござい
Yeah,
ま
thanks
す。
for having me.
もう see you soon.
Yes.
ね、本当ね。
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Thanks for watching. ありがとうございます。